There will be a night in 2024 where the sky seems brighter than usual. A night where the moon is not just a gentle light hanging in the air, but becomes a powerful statement of the universe. It's supermoon night. And not a normal supermoon, but the biggest and most powerful supermoon of the entire year, taking place on August 19th, 2024. You've probably seen the full moon many times in your life, but the supermoon is a very different experience. When the moon is closer to Earth than at any other time in its orbit, you will see a huge, bright, almost touchable light. The moon seems to want to tell you something, not with language, but with energy. For many people, this is just an astronomical phenomenon, beautiful and rare. But for those sensitive to energy, for those on a journey of personal development, the supermoon is not just to see, it is to feel, to connect, and to transform. It was a time when the veil between the physical world and the invisible world became thinner than ever. The supermoon night is like a portal opening where you can easily reach the deepest levels within yourself, the things that you often ignore, forget, or avoid on normal days. Dreams are more vivid. Intuition becomes stronger. Questions that had long been unanswered suddenly found light. The universe doesn't always speak loudly, but on a supermoon night, it whispers louder than usual. If you listen closely enough, if you lift your head and look up and open your heart, you will see that this is not just a phenomenon in the sky, but an invitation sent to you from the universe itself, an invitation for you to pause, calm down, observe, and most importantly, transform yourself. Because the supermoon's energy doesn't just light up the sky, it lights up your insides too. And what will you choose to do with that light? When the light of the supermoon spreads across the earth, something in you also begins to transform. You don't have to be a spiritual or astrological person. You can still feel it clearly. An unusual feeling creeping in with every breath, every look, every smallest vibration of the heart. That is energy. The supermoon not only shines brightly in the sky, it also shines brightly inside us. And when that light collides with dark areas that have never been seen before, intuition begins to awaken. Intuition, not as noisy as reason, not as clear as action. But on the night of the supermoon, it becomes clearer than ever. It could be a vague premonition that makes you suddenly change your familiar route. An inexplicable feeling when you meet someone and feel your heart flutter. A seemingly idle thought, but it opens up a whole new direction. You don't need to understand. You just need to feel. Because this is the time when the universe speaks to you with feelings, with inner silence, not words. Many people share that, during supermoon days, they dream strange dreams, sometimes old memories, sometimes metaphorical symbolic images. Dreams are not meant to be explained, but are a portal for the unconscious parts of you to speak up. When the moon rises, the dust of time in the mind is blown away. You may recall a dormant memory, an unresolved trauma, or a forgotten belief. And that was the beginning of the transformation. Transformation is not a grand action. Sometimes it starts with an honest question to yourself. Am I living according to my heart? Or more simply, am I still listening to myself? The energy of the supermoon is like a wave crashing against the old rocky shore of the soul, knocking away rough layers, patterns, fears, and pain that have been attached for many years. Not to hurt you, but to return you to your original form, lighter, brighter, more real. And to do that, you need space. Space to listen. Space to write down what you're feeling. Space to sit still, doing nothing, simply being present with yourself. A blank sheet of paper, a pen, a candle. It might be all you need on a supermoon night. Write down your unnamed emotions. Dreams that have been kept in my heart for too long. Things you want to let go of. and also the things you desire to receive. Because when you write, you're giving shape to energy. And the supermoon, with the power of a magnifying lens, will help everything you set your intention to become stronger and clearer. If you find it difficult to sleep these days, don't worry. Maybe your mind is too busy, or your soul is working more deeply in the invisible world. Meditate. No need to be fussy. Just sit still, close your eyes, put your hand on your chest, and ask, is there something I need to know right now? You may not receive an answer right away, but you will get a feeling. And sometimes, that feeling is the answer. The supermoon is a reminder that you are more than your skin, your job, your role, or the things you have to do every day. You are a being of light, of depth, of soul memory, and you deserve these moments of sacred connection with yourself. Don't let the supermoon just be a pretty image on social networks. Let it be a quiet yet moving event within you. Let it become a milestone that you can look back on and say, that was the night I started listening to my inner calling. When a powerful cosmic phenomenon like a supermoon occurs, it not only touches the individual's inner world, it also moves the general energy wave of humanity. Because each of us, even though we live individually, is an inseparable part of a vast network, where the smallest vibrations of one soul can create a resonant effect on the whole group. During the supermoon night, when light floods the sky and the energy levels become more sensitive, the collective consciousness also begins to vibrate more strongly than usual. The air seems thick. Everyone seems to be able to feel more easily, to feel the pain of others, to feel the unsaid things, to feel the wishes that are silently sent up from so many hearts looking for healing. This is the moment when loneliness ceases to be an individual experience, but becomes a shared feeling. The desire to connect, to be understood, to be attached suddenly became intense. And in that wave, the community becomes easier to touch each other, not just with words, but with genuine energy emanating from within. You may find strangers become approachable. A small question, a kind look, a sympathetic nod, all become incredibly powerful in connection. On a supermoon night, the boundaries between me and we become more blurred because we share the same heartbeat of the earth, of the moon, and of evolving humanity itself. And of course, in that great flow of movement, each zodiac sign will receive energy in its own way, like different pieces of music harmonizing in a bright moon symphony. For Leo, this is your season. The supermoon takes place while the sun is still in Leo, causing your inner light to be amplified many times over. You will feel like you're standing in the middle of life's stage, seen, challenged, enlightened. But because of that, invisible hurts and insecurities that have been buried in your heart can also surface. This is not the time for you to act strong. It's time for you to have the courage to admit that true light begins from within, from your own honest, imperfect, but vital self. With Virgo, you're used to living with logic, organization, and clarity. But this supermoon will lead you into a place with less light, where you must listen to the vague call of emotions, of things that cannot be arranged in tables, cannot be bulleted to fully understand. This is the time for you to look back at your personal journey, purge things that are no longer relevant, and reset your goals for the upcoming journey. Not because you have to do it, but because you want to do it. With Aquarius, the energy of the supermoon can awaken in you a feeling of intense urge to break limits, do something different, live true to the ideals that you have embraced for so long. But instead of rebelling, this time you have the opportunity to transform. You can choose to inspire, lead the way, or simply live as an example of true freedom. Freedom from within. Freedom not out of opposition, but out of harmony. And no matter what sign you belong to, Whether you believe in astrology or not, the energy of the supermoon will still find you in a unique way. You may not feel it right away. Maybe you just find yourself more sensitive, dreaming more, or simply quiet for a moment looking up at the sky. But whatever the manifestation, believe that something is moving within you, very silently, very deeply, and very real. And on that night, amidst countless looks towards the sky, you are not alone, because wherever they are, awakened souls like you are quietly connecting with the light of the moon and with each other through invisible but powerful waves. But like all bright lights, the supermoon brings more than just splendor. It also shines a light into the hidden corners inside us, the places we often hide, the wounds that have not yet healed, the emotions that have been suppressed for a long time. And when the moonlight becomes too bright, too close, they can no longer hide. You may feel like your energy is drained. Insomnia, heart beating fast, mind confused without understanding why. A few days earlier, you were normal, even cheerful. But the closer the supermoon night gets, the more restless, breathless, and emotional you become. This is no coincidence. This is the lunar energy that amplifies all of your emotions, both beautiful and chaotic. The supermoon is like a surreal mirror, not only reflecting your appearance, but also revealing your most silent emotions. And that, sometimes, hurts. It hurts because you realize you still haven't forgiven someone. It hurts because you find yourself still living a life that your heart doesn't really agree with. Pain because an old belief suddenly crumbled in the moonlight. You may also find yourself becoming irritable, tearful, and easily hurt. Old conflicts in relationships can suddenly flare up, as if triggered by something very small. Don't blame yourself. Don't think you're weak. You're just being purified. Emotional outbursts are not a bad sign. They are a sign of liberation. When something emerges, it is ready to be seen and let go. Your job is not to resist, but to allow yourself to experience it in the most honest way. And most importantly, remember that you don't need to be perfect to be worthy of the supermoon light. You don't need to be calm or stable to receive this energy. You just need to be honest. Be honest with what you're feeling. Be honest with what you need to let go of. Be honest with the small voice in your heart that is still waiting for you to listen. Because only when the light of the moon touches the truth, true healing begins.